Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Being Unstoppable. And as you can tell, maybe if you're watching this video, Vicki is not with me. We're going to do something a little bit different today because it is Suicide Awareness Day. And this is something that is near and dear to my heart for many reasons. And I'm going to prelude this to say viewer discretion advised. Some people might find this episode a little bit triggering. And so I wanted to say, if you have kids that watch our episode, this probably might not be an episode for them because I'm going to be sharing some real vulnerable stories. If you have experience with having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations, or if this is something that maybe you've attempted suicide in the past, I hope that this episode will help you realize that you're not alone and that there is help if you want it, and to reframe the way we see this. So most of you know a lot of my story and background, but you might not know that growing up, my dad had a lot of suicidal thoughts and actually attempted to take his own life 3 times. So it was really hard growing up, trying to understand why somebody would do that. And as I've been on this spiritual journey, I've realized that sometimes the people that experience the most darkness have the most light to reveal, but they don't see what they're going through, their pains, their challenges, their struggles, as a blessing, as an opportunity to overcome and rise above. And I know that that was a big part of my dad's story. My dad was extremely intuitive. He helped the police find a missing person one time, but I don't think he knew the gift that he had. And I don't think he knew how to hone in on his skills. And people weren't really talking about this kind of stuff. I think back in the 60s, the 70s, when it was really aware or alive for him. So I remember the moment that I knew that my dad had a problem. I think I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I walked into this room that we had in the back, and he was just lying on the floor crying. And he just could not pull his thoughts together, his experience together, what he was going through. And I always saw my dad as happy, alive, fun. And this was the first moment that I realized like he was really struggling, but on the outside, nobody really knew, nobody could tell. And I think that's something that a lot of people that have these thoughts portray on the outside, that everything's fine and everything's good, and they're not struggling because they feel however they feel about it, maybe guilt or maybe shame. And I remember that moment kind of woke me up to, there is something that we all can do when people are feeling that the weight of the world around them. And I wish that I could say that this was my only experience. I remember the earliest time that my dad tried to take his life. The first time, he actually drove his truck into a cement pole. But before that moment, I remember he was crying and upset, and he gave us a kiss goodbye. And I knew my dad had suicidal thoughts before. And I remember as a kid feeling like helpless and feeling like, man, I don't want to deal with this today. And I hung on to that for a long time because he actually did create a lot of damage. And I felt guilty, like it was my fault somehow. It was because I didn't stop him, that I was the cause of that. And maybe somebody listening right now has had somebody close to you attempt suicide or maybe even commit suicide. And there's a part of you that's feeling guilty or that you could have done more. And I want you to know that whether I would have got out of bed that day or not, I can't be responsible for his actions, and neither can you. And I think that sometimes, these opportunities really wake us up. And I know for a long time I was a victim to that. Like, oh, I'm to blame. And it's easy to get stuck in that spiral, that trap that like somehow we're responsible for other people's behaviors or actions. And it took me a lifetime of therapy and coaching and personal development to let that go. And it is a hard topic to talk about. And I think the reason why so many people struggle in silence is because we're not having these conversations. We're not normalizing that people struggle sometimes. And it's okay that people struggle and people deal with situations like this. And for a long time in my life, I really couldn't talk about this because it would get me really upset and I'd start crying. And it's like I'd go back to that childhood memory. But now I see that it's all part of my journey, my process. I needed to be a part of that, to have those situations happen to me, to be able to share and hold space for others that are maybe having that same experience. So I've learned to not own it, but also be with it, if that makes sense. And I know that this day in particular, Wednesday, suicide awareness, it's just, what can we do as a community to support people? And I wanted to share another story because I remember I was waiting for a client one time and I was killing some time on Facebook and I saw somebody put a post that said, "I'm not okay today." And I just chimed in and said, it's okay to not be okay, but know that there's people here that are willing to talk to you. And so the next day I got a phone call from Facebook Messenger, and it was that person that I sent that message to, and he wanted to thank me. And I said, for what? And he said, "You saved my life." And I said, "I saved your life? What do you mean?" And he said, "I was sitting in my room with multiple bottles of pills that I was going to take and end my life." And he said, "You were the only person that said something. And that's all I needed to get me out of the spiral that I was in." I threw the pills away. And he said, "I think that there's more in me. And I feel like I've been holding myself back." And so we had this really powerful conversation, and that conversation changed his life. He ended up starting his own business. We ended up coaching together, and he really started reframing how he saw his current situation. And he could see that the darkness, everything that was coming in was there to help bring out this next step for him. But he didn't have anybody to help him really see and change his way of thinking about what was happening. And I share that with you because how many times do you see somebody who's maybe disempowered online or feeling like a certain way, and we just kind of step over it, walk past it, don't take the time, it's not my business, it's not my problem. But maybe that one action, that one word is enough, that one sentence is enough for people to say, maybe there is more to my life, and maybe that's a sign for me to stay on course. Uh, Man, guys, I could go on and on of stories of me interrupting patterns of people. I found my best friend in his garage one time. I woke up with this really awful feeling that something bad was going to happen to him. And he recently found out that his wife wanted a divorce. He was going through a really hard time with that, thinking that his life was over. And I just followed my gut, my instinct, and got to his house in time to save his life. I don't know why these situations happen to me. Maybe it's part of God, source, creator, helping me really release the past, or maybe being a voice or a vessel for change, and bringing awareness to situations to help others who are in need. I know this is a lot. This is a little bit heavier and significant, but I hope that if you are feeling the pressure, if you are feeling the darkness, if you feel like there's no way out of your current situation, there are some things that you can do. And I want to share what some of those things are. One, pick up the phone, call a trusted advisor, call a friend, call somebody who can help you reframe how you're thinking. I think the second thing, this is so important now. Don't go online. Don't go on social media, because I find that when we're in a disempowered state, we look for evidence to prove how we're feeling. And if all we have to do is watch one video that's negative or reaffirming your beliefs, and then the algorithm takes you down a rabbit hole. Don't get stuck in the rabbit hole. The other thing that I would really recommend is when you feel the heaviness, when you feel the darkness, when you feel the pressure and you feel like there is no way out, go within, get quiet, pause, ask for guidance, ask for support. I do really believe that there is a higher power that is protecting all of us. But you got to take that time to just be with the feelings and know that your feelings are okay. Your feelings are legitimate, and you can shift your state. You really can. You have that power in you to shift your current situation, and it might take some work. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's possible. So I hope that, if anything, you can, if you are somebody who is a leader, who is an advocate for health and wellness and mental health and wellness, I hope that this inspires you to speak up and to also share that people are not alone. My message can only go so far, but together, if we can bring awareness and we can share and we can open up the gateways for people that need us, I really do believe that we can make an impact. And know that if you are struggling, you're not alone. And there are people that can support you through the darkest of moments. And trust that your purpose is bigger. And the reason why you're experiencing so much darkness is because the light is trying to come in. Your purpose is trying to be revealed. So do not give up. Do not quit. Reach out and know that you are stronger than your feelings. You are more capable than you might be believing right now. And you have everything you need within you right now to rise above your current situation. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Vicki has her stories that she wants to share as well. And again, sorry this was a little bit significant, but I think it's very valuable and it's a very important message. So together we're better, and we can be unstoppable. Mwah. Bye, you guys.
Hi, everyone. As you know, Tina and I have separately recorded our podcast today. Because of the importance of today being Suicide Awareness Day, we need to bring attention to this problem that we face. I know I've had many people in my life that have taken their own lives. My own daughter tried to take her own life at a time when she was being bullied and felt like she had nowhere to go. And, you know, we've always been a very close family, so I didn't understand why she wouldn't have just come to me and talk. But her telling me that she just didn't know where to turn, but as soon as she took the pills, she decided she knew, I want my mom. And luckily, she's still here with us today. This topic, this awful thing that we have to go through in life, this feeling of aloneness, the mental health problems that are in our world right now, they're not to be ignored. We can help each other. We can be there for each other. My passion is to help people, help women be their best version. Along with that comes the pause, the trauma, the past. It's not easy. It's scary. And I know that. Grief is a horrible thing. I feel it. I feel it every day. And when I went to my doctor this last time with really talking to her about why, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm happy. I feel like I'm helping people but I don't know what to do. And she said, Vicki, it's okay, but I do have a question to ask you. And her question to me was, do you ever feel like you don't want to do this anymore? And I had to pause. I had to stop. And in a flash, no, no, I don't. That much I could say. And, you know, I believe that the strength came from within. Mentally, I have struggled for a long time with different problems and different um, issues, I guess I could say, but none of which have brought me to that place. So I can't say that I understand what someone feels like when they feel that, but I can understand when you go to that dark place because I've been there. I really have. And I am blessed to have the people in my life because when I was going through that recently, my tribe reached out daily. They were there for me, which made me keep going, which helped me keep going. My husband, my children, my friends, my coach, my best friends, my sisters, my biddies, they all were there for me. And I think that that is key. We need to remember that you're never alone. You always have someone. I promise you, reach out. We are here for you. And, you know, it's a hard thing. And I am getting emotional. Yes. Um, But I just want you to know that you're not alone. You are never alone. Um, we're here to help. We are here to be with you. And, one phone call, like Tina said, can change someone's life. One message on Facebook can change your life. So remember, when you are that person, you know, I have a little story and I want to share, and it's about bullying. And I think that a lot of the times when children are being bullied and made to feel like they're less than and they're not enough, that they don't know where to turn. And unfortunately, they take their own lives sometimes. And that breaks my heart because as a parent, you want to, you know how special your children are, your child is. You know how special they are and how wonderful they are and how one of a kind they are. No one deserves to be treated anything less than. So, talk to your kids, talk to your friends, talk to your spouse, your partner. Just talk. Ask the questions at the dinner table at night. Take the time. Put down the phones and spend the time. Be present with your family because we're only promised today. And today could mean the difference in tomorrow for many, many people. So I urge you to take this personally, to really take this on and be aware of what is possible if you turn the blind eye or if you pretend that it isn't happening or if you ignore the signs and I'm not saying that that's what people always do because it's not. Many of us know and many of us have had horrible things happen, and even though we've been on top of things, but in this life where we live such a instant gratification, and this social media is such a compare and despair, and it just breaks my heart that we can't come together as a community, as women, as to empower each other and show each other the love that we all deserve. I know I was probably rambling, but this is very hard for me. And hence why Tina and I did this separately because her stories really hit home for me as well. And it makes me very emotional. So I am going to cut this a little shorter than what Tina talked about because it's very hard for me to speak about. But I do want people to know that you are one of a kind. You are a special, wonderful person. And I hope that you get to see that in yourself. And if not, please reach out. Reach out. because we love you. Thank you so much for listening today, and I know this was heavy, and I will also say that um, my heart goes out to anyone who has been the survivor of someone who is suicide. And please know that there's support for you as well. And this doesn't just affect the person, it affects everyone around them, everyone that they love. So please reach out. We have a number in our show notes. 988 is the suicide number. Please reach out if you need to. And we are here as well. Tina and I are both here. We love you. We love the support that we get from all of you. And thank you so much for listening to us. Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.